was watching the Man United and Villarreal match last night in the Europa League final. I'm a Man United fan. They lost on penalties in the end. But at the beginning of the game, we saw the customary take the knee from the Manchester United players. And I noticed that the Spanish team didn't take the knee at all. I'm pretty sure all the United players knelt. And none of the Spanish team's players took the knee. And I thought about that for a while. I wondered why that is. Obviously, most of the players that play for Manchester United are not English, and they're certainly not all white. Same for the Spanish team. They're not all Spanish. They're from all over the place. But why is this uniquely English or American phenomenon? It seems to have this kind of colonial white guilt attached to it, which, if that is what's driving it, Spanish people are European, they're white as well. They had an empire, particularly a bloody empire, more bloody than the British, I would say. Hernan Cortez, went and massacred the Aztecs in Mexico and Guatemala in his pursuit of gold. Francisco Pizarro did the same to the Incans. So the Spanish certainly don't get off the hook here, but there's no country that will survive this moral calculus. So why is this a uniquely English and American phenomenon? It all started with Colin Kaepernick a couple of years ago when he knelt for the national anthem. He's an American footballer in the States. I don't know anything about American football. I don't want to know either. But he was somehow protesting young black kids being shot by police, unarmed kids being shot by police. And fair enough, but I don't know why he's not just protesting police brutality. When you look at the numbers, more whites are killed, a lot more whites are killed by police in America than black people. And they're also killed at a higher rate. So if the police draw their guns on you in America, you have a slightly better chance of being shot if you're white. And the reason for that is obvious. I mean, you're going to be all over CNN if you shoot a black guy as a police officer. And, if you shoot a white guy, nobody cares. It never makes the news. That's why nobody knows the names of the white people that are shot by police, armed or unarmed. And everybody knows the names of the black people. Which is very strange. Well, given America's history, you can kind of understand it, but there is a huge double standard there, and that people, I'm sure, they're aware of, but they don't want to acknowledge. But in England particularly, I'm very surprised that this kind of taking the knee took hold in England particular. The symbolism behind that is very... Maybe if they were linking arms in solidarity, it's a gesture you could nearly get behind. But taking the knee, there's nothing about taking the knee that symbolizes equality or solidarity. It's a subservient act, and especially England, given its history. It's a monarchy, obviously a very old monarchy. And it's a very Daenerys Targaryen, bend the knee, you're subservient to me. Why would people think that taking the knee in front of somebody meant that we are equal and in solidarity with one another? There's nothing about that suggests solidarity of any kind. It's a subservient act. And I'm very, very surprised that it took hold in England of all places, given its history. So there are some players that don't do this. Wilfred Zaha was one of the first not to do it, and I was very glad to see that. and hopefully fewer and fewer people will kneel for this. Racism is a disease. It should be stamped out. It's wrong wherever it happens. But the connection to the Black Lives Matter movement in this kneeling, and a lot of the times the fist in the air, the connection there is obvious, and that's an organization that doesn't care about black people in the least, because they don't talk about black on black crime, which is the main problem for black people in America, crime and black on black crime. And again, if they can't blame it on white people, they don't want to know. So yeah, hopefully this movement will slowly die out.